Hi, everybody. Welcome to this edition of Iredell-Statesville Schools EDtalks. We have two special guests with us today that I'd like to introduce to you. Ms. Sheila Jenkins, who is the principal of Northview IBO World School, and Dr. Justin Mitchell, who is the blended learning coach there at Northview. Hi, folks, and welcome.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. And I know that both of you are very passionate about the work that you do, and so when given an opportunity to talk about your school, you never turn us down. So thanks again for being here. A lot of exciting things going on at Northview, and one of the initiatives that you guys have rolled out early this year and got big plans for next year is your STEM initiative. So tell us about what's going on and what you're looking at next year for STEM. And just so our audience knows, we're talking about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
And at Northview, we always add the A in there and add a STEAM to it too, with our arts and our agriculture, because both are very popular at Northview, and we do them a lot, use a lot with the STEM. Starting out with, I'm going to let Dr. Mitchell tell you about our newest thing with support from Todd Williams in the CTE department. We have 2 3D printers at Northview, and I'm going to let Dr. Mitchell tell you how we're using those with our classrooms right now.
So this is an example of something we printed with our 3D printer. This is the Thinker, and it took a little bit of time to print because it's pretty detailed, but what we did was we're just trying to provide some examples for students of how to use 3D printers. One of our math teachers is doing a unit currently on scale factor, and so what they're going to do is they're going to measure themselves and scale themselves down based on their body's dimensions. And the unit's called Petite Peeps. And so they're going to make their Petite Peep of themselves. And so what we did was I found a person that looked like me, and I actually printed it on the 3D printer and videoed it, and we did time-lapse photography and sped it up just to show the kids how it actually works, comparable to what they're doing. Now what they will be doing will be designing their own Petite Peeps based on their dimensions, and then they will have the opportunity to design a digital Petite Peep, and then we'll have a contest because, and then the winner will actually be able to print their Petite Peep using the 3D printer, just so they can have just a novelty for that. So we're using that in very different ways. Some connections that they're going to be making while they're doing the unit will be to research how 3D printing is having impact locally, nationally, and internationally, and various fields of the STEM world. For example, medicine. Our teacher is making a connection to, there was a young student in California who had a physical deformity of their hand and had limited mobility, limited function of the hand. Some middle school students in another part of the country found out about this student, and at their middle school, they were able to create a prosthetic using the 3D printer. They designed it, printed it, assembled it, and then sent it to this student. And that student now has function of their hand using the products there. And this was done by middle schoolers. So we're trying to help students see beyond the walls of Iredell County so they can see how they can have an impact both locally, nationally, and internationally as well. So Mrs. Jenkins was telling me a little bit about an opportunity for international example of that as well. You want to share that example, the international?
Yes, we found out
connection?
that there has been a need around the world for different things, and especially third world countries, where they can't afford to print very simple things that would make a world of a difference to them. So they are sending those out worldwide to schools to create these things and send them to them, thus aiding others in other parts of the world with simple devices that we have at our fingertips. So it's great with services action for Northview, and just part of our whole mission and vision that we have there.
Absolutely.
But ultimately, I think the thing is that it's not only putting the technology in the hands of the students, thanks to our CTE department, that we're able to make this available, because in many school systems, I'm sure that isn't available to those students, giving them those rich experiences, preparing them for those jobs that may not exist in tomorrow's world. And so our students will be globally competitive because of these opportunities.
Absolutely. Well, I am so proud of the work that Todd Williams and the CTE department is doing, and they have reached out to all of our middle schools with this same opportunity. Yes. And you know, one of our goals in the school system is for our kids to be internationally aware and competitive, because it is a much smaller world for them now. And they will face challenges and competition that you and I did not even think about. I think it's important too, Justin, you mentioned this just a minute ago, but a lot of the jobs that these kids will be performing, those jobs have not even been created yet. And that's hard for me to get my mind wrapped around that. But technology is changing so rapidly. These kids will be performing tasks that you and I can't even imagine. So it's an awesome responsibility on the part of educators to get kids ready for that type of environment.
As well as preparation for college. I know at Appalachian, we have a 3D printer that they're using to print parts, and they're actually assembling moving parts and things like that. So it's college career ready as well. So that's another one of our goals in North Carolina. Absolutely.
Part of STEM and STEAM education is making the paradigm shift, because a lot of folks in the community, particularly from my generation, when they think about things like manufacturing jobs, they think about the old textile mills and the furniture factories, the tobacco manufacturing. And that's just not the case in the 21st century. Today they're using terminology like advanced manufacturing. And so a lot of the businesses today, when you go in and take a tour of a modern factory, it looks nothing like the old dark, dirty manufacturing plants of a generation ago. I went on a tour several years ago of Providencia up on Highway 90. They make non-woven fabric that actually becomes the liner in baby diapers. That's what they manufacture. And it was amazing to go on that tour up there. First of all, this company is owned by a group of investors in Brazil. They're located here in Statesville, but they're a foreign national company. They have 4 languages spoken inside that manufacturing plant. They speak Spanish, Portuguese. Their machinery comes from Germany, so they have workers there that speak German, and of course English is the predominant language. And as I took my tour of the plant up there, first of all, it's a beautiful, brightly lit, very modern workplace, massive machines, and you had workers sitting at a keyboard operating this giant machine. And as I walked through that factory that day, I thought to myself, I'm probably not qualified to work here. I don't have the skill set. And so that's where the science, technology, engineering, mathematics comes in. And the Bureau of Labor Statistics tells us that 80% of the jobs in the future are going to require some type of science, technology, engineering, mathematics background. That's just phenomenal. So you guys are on the cutting edge with what you're doing with your students. Now, I know next year you're planning a STEM hallway.
We are planning a STEM hallway.
Tell us about that.
We hope to integrate all areas of the school together, starting with the hub of every school, which is their media center. Yeah. So using our media center, connecting our CTE classrooms, and creating a new room called a makerspace. It's a new trend in education, but it's basically a room where you allow children to create. You give them a project, and then you allow them to respond to that project however it best fits them. Because every child is different. They can use a 3D printer. They can use a computer. They could literally use art and create something. But it is a makerspace to allow them to explore their own individualized skills and still get the end result met. So we're very excited about this makerspace and the STEM hallway and incorporating all the other things going on at Northview together.
I am really glad to hear you say that, because some folks, they look at the media center and they say, with all of this technology, are media centers becoming obsolete? And I would say, no, they aren't becoming obsolete, but they are having to change with the times.
They are. Yes.
And you don't walk in now and see a card catalog or the Reader's Guide to Periodic Literature, but the Makerspace is a unique program that turns them into a mini laboratory of sorts. Yes. And so that's very, very exciting. What some of the skills too in using that Makerspace, students are asked to become problem solvers. Yes. They have to work in teams. They have to design things. So those are skills that you'll be promoting in your makerspace as well, correct?
Very much so. It's no longer tell me how to do it and give me every step. We present the children with a problem and we say, solve it. However you can, whatever works for you, using whatever resources you have. So they really have to think outside the box. And that's scary. Children at Northview like to do things right. And we have to explain to them there's nothing wrong. It's just different.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing that we're trying to work with that mindset, changing that mindset from that fixed mindset to that growth mindset, as in explore, experiment, try, create, design. And those are some of the concepts that we have to get across. Cooperation with each other, communication skills. All of those skills come into play with the makerspace.
Which are all 21st century learning skills that are being supported there as well as developed.
Absolutely. Well, I know locally here, our Chamber of Commerce, Economic Development, our county commissioners, they have heard about some of the work and the innovations that are taking place. They are excited about this because they realize that the communities of the future that are going to be successful and have high-skilled jobs and full employment and high standards of living, the communities that have that are going to be the communities that have strong public schools that create that pipeline of workers for the 21st century.
Yes.
So this goes a long way towards not only serving the immediate needs of your students, but it also serves the long-term needs of the community and creating a vibrant community where businesses do want to move here and open and hire our students.
Yes.
Well, what else is going on at Northview? You brought another tool with you today.
We have our props. This, Mr. Johnson, is called Google Cardboard. And Google Cardboard is a simple cardboard with lens that, when attached to a cell phone with an app, gives you a virtual reality field trip that you can go on. This was the beginnings in Google of what they are now doing in classrooms called Google Expeditions. Now, Google goes worldwide, Sweden, Germany, South Africa, and we were contacted and said, we would like to come to Northview and bring our virtual reality field trips to you, which absolutely thrilled me, and I said, yes, please come on down. Well, next Friday, our students will have the opportunity to visit Greece, the Bikini Atoll, the American Museum of Natural History. They will go to Angel Falls, Venezuela, all through virtual reality. So they will sit in a classroom and they will get a whole three-dimensional view where they will get to pick and choose where they go, guided by the teacher, and get to visit places they never would have gotten to visit before.
Well, this is such a simple looking device. It literally is just cardboard.
Yes, sir.
And you attach your cell phone here and close it back. And then it's like those old viewfinders that we used when we were children. Now, you guys let me experience this when you came in the room. It was a roller coaster ride, 360-degree roller coaster ride. And I literally got dizzy.
Yes.
It was almost like being there.
Yes. And as you can tell, mine has a lot of wear and tear because I do show and tell with it all the time because I just think it's so phenomenal. And the educational opportunities are just endless with this. From the simple roller coaster where children, for whatever reason, who have never been on a roller coaster, can ride a roller coaster.
Yeah,
I mean, to me,
absolutely.
that is just awesome. You know, children who may not be able to leave Statesville for whatever reason can go to Paris.
Yes.
They can go to all these places
Limitless.
and really feel it and see it and experience it, thus, you know, making our world, once again, that much smaller.
Yeah.
I think another key piece is that we know that experiential learning is foundational for our students, and that's why we do field trips. You know, that's why we try to provide opportunities for students to experience things so that they can make those connections more so than just reading it out of a book or watching it in a video. This opportunity will allow teachers to take their students through an expedition into the jungle, into the Great Barrier Reef. And so the teacher's in control. And so as the students are looking through their finders and they're able to see 360 degrees, the teacher's in control and is able to stop the expedition and say, notice this, or ask these questions about a particular object or something they're able to see. They're able to travel to the Great Wall of China, to Athens. They're able to go to any of these locations, which, as Mrs. Jenkins said, makes the world much smaller. It reminds me of, I was on the road drive over this morning, I was thinking, it reminds me of the old book, The Magic School Bus, where, you know, in elementary school where the teacher was able to take them in these places that they would not normally be able to go. And this is actually the 21st century version of that Magic School Bus, being able to take students places where they wouldn't be able to go, leveling the playing field, especially in areas where students may not be able to afford to ever go. I mean, some students will never be able to travel the world for whatever reason, and this provides that opportunity and makes that playing field much more fair for those opportunities.
Yeah, when you showed me this morning and explained how it works, I'm an old social studies teacher, so my mind immediately, oh my gosh, you can visit the D-Day beaches with this. You can go to Valley Forge. You can go to Independence Hall and watch the sign. I mean, it's just limitless what you can do with this.
And they're also connected with the Google Cultural Project, which the Google Cultural Project is where the Google has gone around the world to these renowned art collections, to the Louvre, the Vatican, all of these different art collections, and have done high definition photographs of all of these masterpiece arts. So you can actually zoom in and actually see Picasso's brushstrokes because it's that high definition. So they're teamed with them so students have the same opportunities to do those as well. But as you were saying, there are historical contexts, and they can be used, the expeditions can be used for multiple contexts. I was listening to a teacher explain how they had designed an expedition to the Great Wall of China. This was a high school social studies teacher that designed it. But then another teacher was able to use the same expedition but used it from a world language perspective and for vocabulary. So there are multiple interdisciplinary connections that you're able to make as well.
Yeah.
We're just thrilled that Google could be anywhere. And Google's coming to Statesville, North Carolina, to Northview IB.
Oh, wow.
And we just couldn't be more excited. And invite anyone who wants to come down to visit Northview next Friday. Come on down. We'll hook you up with some Google Cardboard and let them. So any of our school board members, any teachers around, please, we would love to share this experience with others.
Well, we'll share that with the community. Make sure we do have some special guests there that day.
I think they're going to be swinging by from Sweden. I think that's where they're.
Yes, they're coming to us by way of Sweden. That's where they're just leaving.
They're
so
leaving Sweden and coming to us.
You know, it's just phenomenal. We are just so thrilled and excited about this opportunity.
Well, you should be. My goodness, you're really putting Northview on the international map. And that's exactly what you should be doing. So thank you for that opportunity.
Well, it's been great. And I'll take this opportunity just to also do my little plug and say thank you for the opportunity for the Chinese experience. We had 10 of those students at our school, and it was just fantastic. Our children learned that, you know, yes, they're from another part of the world, but there are so many similarities. What we like, pizza, fried chicken, you know, those kinds of things.
Teenagers are teenagers no matter where they are.
So that was a phenomenal opportunity for you to bring to Iredell-Statesville. And from the principal / parents perspective, I just thank you and everyone that was responsible for that. It was a great opportunity.
Well, I think we learned a lot from each other, and that's what we should be doing in the world today. So thank you for participating in that project. I'm going to vary for just a minute and get kind of personal. You know, I always, when I think about the school system, I think about the thousands and thousands of kids that have walked through our buildings and graduated from our schools. And I think it's interesting for the community to know that two of our distinguished leaders here are graduates of schools in Iredell County. And Dr. Mitchell, I know you went to North Iredell High School.
Yes, I was at Central and North Middle and North High. And graduated.
Yeah, and Ms. Jenkins, you're a South Iredell girl.
I am a South Iredell girl, Troutman Elementary, Troutman Middle, and South Iredell, and phenomenal educational experiences. I have fond memories of South Iredell and Patricia Horn, great English language arts teacher. And I will say, Rosemary Rector is the reason that I am in education today. And I say a lot of times that we forget to thank those people.
Yeah.
So, but she was the turning point for me. Yeah. And in fourth grade, decided to become a teacher. And I'm thrilled that I've got to bring back my experiences to Iredell County schools.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, people of your caliber are what make this a really great school system. And Dr. Mitchell, I know we're losing you. You are going to Charleston, South Carolina. Tell us real quickly about what you're doing in Charleston.
Well, I have accepted a professor position at Charleston Southern University. It's bittersweet to leave Iredell-Statesville schools. This is my home. This is where I grew up and where I've been invested. But this opportunity has led me to Charleston to have a greater impact. I'll be a professor in teacher education. Wow. So I feel like while the opportunity that I've had here locally has been a great one, the grant-funded position will be ending the end of this year. And while I've had an opportunity to make an impact with the teachers at Northview, and this opportunity I feel like will allow me the opportunity to have a greater exponential impact on teachers as we're working in teacher preparation, and because we know that quality teachers are the key to our future. And so I want to make sure that I'm a part of that. And so I've had this opportunity, and it's bittersweet. I'm very excited about the opportunity, but I'm also sad to leave what I know, and what I know is a great school system, and very proud to be a part of.
Yeah. Well, thank you both very, very much for the work that you do there at Northview. And Justin, we do wish you very much success there. I know you're going to do great as you train teachers for the future. And thanks again for being here today.
All right. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Well, folks, thanks for watching. And if you would like to get more information about Northview and IBO World School, you can visit our website. And if you're interested in visiting the school, for this Google experience, it's just a few days away, contact them, give them a phone call, and see if you can arrange a visit on that day too. Thanks again for watching.